This is fucking perfect. It's like starting to rain as soon as I want to record this. Um, what's something you did early on? I'm reading comments that were left in some of videos that I've published recently. What's something you did early on that felt productive but actually slowed your growth? Something that actually slowed down growth for me was overthinking just decisions, just overthinking everything from, you know, getting my brand and logo right, the fonts right, the perfect strategy for content and publishing. I mean, there's no way to do social media right, especially when you're beginning, because you don't yet know the algorithms. You don't yet understand what your audience responds to until you start posting. And there's no point in learning the algorithms without actually posting content consistently, because you don't really have a reference to, you don't have much of a reference with content that you're putting out and how it's performing. If you study other channels and other people out there, it's a good place to look and kind of get some insight of what's working for other people. But until you actually start publishing yourself and seeing what your audience resonates with, what's in your brain and your audience's brain, it's hard to actually be able to know whether or not you should stop or start doing something, in relation to the type of content that you're creating. So, kind of that being said, like just get started. The fonts, the branding, the theme, all that stuff will come, but you just got to start with actually putting out a video and iterating over time. Yeah, so just like over preparing, over planning is something that definitely slowed me down personally. Let me see the other question. So, what's something you did early on? No, I already answered that. What would you do differently if you had to grow your business from scratch today? That's an interesting question, and I'm going to do my best to give an interesting answer. And I just forgot the question. If I had to grow my business from scratch today, I would probably. That's a tough one because there's a couple of different parts that go into growing a business today in today's world. Because major corporations, whether it's banks or recruitment agencies or treatment addiction treatment centers, any kind of service based, especially product based business, because they're shifting so heavily into social media right now, if I was starting from scratch, I would literally just start posting content on my own personal page, things that resonate with me, things that I find not just interesting, but also have some like value to add on to, some experience in, whether it's like mistakes I've made or things, that I've learned. I would start creating content there, just building up my personal brand. And then for the business, honestly, I would probably post some content around what my services are, what I do. Keep it very simple. If you edit videos, you say my name is Josh, whatever. My name is Shiv, and I edit YouTube videos. Simple. I'll just make you clean cut edited videos. Here's what I did for this person. Here's what I did for that person. If you're interested, you know, send me a message. Send me a DM. I'd keep it so simple, and I wouldn't worry about over editing it or over producing it because the platforms today, especially YouTube, um, are rewarding a lot more raw and unfiltered content. This camera's heavy. It's also like, I don't know if you can see the skies. It's like literally about to rain any minute. Um, if I didn't mention it already, I'm in Central Park, Manhattan, New York City. Um, and my name's Sergio. I've been producing content for over 7 years. I'm 24 years old. And I started this media agency officially a little over 2 years ago with a business partner that I met across the world. We've since, I don't know, probably produced over nearly 1,000 pieces of content for different clients. We've generated over 6 million views. Honestly, it's probably well over that now. Have connected with some very influential people around the world, people, CEOs, celebrities, Broadway stars, music artists, I mean, you name it. I've been in rooms with some of the biggest people that you see on the screen. whether it's news networks or TV, film, and I've learned a thing or two. I'm definitely not the smartest one. I'm still figuring this life out, but I do feel like I have some value to add when it comes to growing a brand today online with the direction that social media is headed in and YouTube. You want to be posting content, but you also want to be getting in front of the right people. And I don't just mean that with social media and content. I think I'm gonna walk over there. Holy shit. Okay. Hopefully you guys have a view. That's okay, it's fine. Some some woman just like walked right by and like threatened to take the camera from me right now. Um, she literally like reached her hand over the camera. Also, I can't tell if this is like a good view, but she reached her hand over the camera and said, "Aren't you afraid?" Like no disrespect, but this woman did not look like the kind of woman who can outrun me. So, anyways, I gotta zoom in here and see if this is even a good angle. So yeah, with like the direction that social media is heading in, besides just posting relevant content, good content, like you got to be able to just get in front of the right people, and that doesn't just mean social media. That also means like, by the way, I hope you guys are enjoying this like little show right now with the bikes and the different people walking by. But that doesn't just mean like posting good content. That also means going in people's DMs and sending them messages, real messages, videos if you can, like a custom video to them, directly to them. You mention their name, who you are, why you're contacting them, and what value you are bringing and whatever it is that you're proposing, whether it's your service or your product that they should check out. But like besides posting content consistently, content's just that's building brand awareness. You can't expect to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales just from posting videos. It requires so much more of a human connection than that, especially today with all the noise outside. Um, and hold on, this guy. All right, there was like a pretty buff, jacked dude who like was jogging right next to the camera who could definitely outrun me. I got a little nervous for a second. Oh man, you guys beefed. Um, but yeah, like today, whatever you think you should be doing, you should be doing. So if you want to put out content and you're expecting to generate hundreds of thousands of sales, like to be completely realistic, you have if that's how you're gonna generate revenue and get like booked calls, then you better study the algorithms so fucking well that every post you put out has the highest chance of going viral. If you're not studying the content, you don't have time to look at, do the research, and make the right kinds of thumbnails, the right kinds of titles, the right kinds of descriptions, edit with the right kind of style, and even from the filming the right kind of way. If you don't have time to look at that stuff, which, I mean, unless you're selling courses on how to do video, like no one has time for that, then you put the social media and the content generation on autopilot, which typically requires finding a team who can do it for you. Yes, I produce content and I have a media agency, but like, I don't care if you work with us or the next person, you need to find someone who can run your shit on autopilot so that you can actually prioritize growing the business and doing income producing activities. It's so unrealistic the types of expectations I see that potential clients have with us whenever I'm talking to one. They expect us to like give them the world like with a couple of posts. That's not how it works. I know people who get hundreds of thousands of views on their videos, and people who've got hundreds of thousands of followers on their social media who get nothing from it. So the content is building the brand awareness so that people know that you're in business and they know that you exist. But actually getting people to interact with you and engage doesn't just come down to strategic content generation. It also comes like down to contacting the right people, DMing them on all platforms, following up with them, and that shit takes more time. No one thinks of that. But like I see so many business owners struggle with actually driving people to their workshops, to sign up for their memberships, to buy their products. or engage in their services, because there's this misconception that just more content equals more results. And it's complete BS. We got a whole fucking family over here passing by. It's pretty cool. It's BS. Look, it was possible maybe 5 years ago, yes. 10 years ago, likely not. I mean, 10 years ago, definitely. And 15 years ago, yes. Like you could, many people can make money online through Instagram, YouTube, much easier. There was way less competition, and business weren't jumping on this opportunity. But with all the competition now and everyone going towards social media, it's that much harder to stand out and be authentic and raw and real, and to get people to want to engage with you. To the next question. Literally, the question is, what's the biggest lie people believe about content creation? I low key just answered that. Right now, the biggest lie is that all you need to do is just post a bunch of content, post more, and somehow that's going to get people to want to buy your stuff. Not exactly. It also depends on the industry that you're in. But the biggest misconception is that social media is going to save a business. Now, don't get me wrong. Content does absolutely put a shit ton of fire on the fuel for your business, and it really can generate tens of thousands of dollars in revenue, especially through service-based businesses, which are primarily the businesses we work with. But if you don't have the right systems in place, if you don't have the back end, the structure, the funnels, the process to actually get people from not knowing who you are to, depending on your industry, converting over time, whether that's a couple of weeks or a month or so, if you don't have the structure or systems in place to walk them through that through social media, then I'm sorry, but you're going to be playing a very long game, and it's not going to be an exciting one, because you're going to pour lots of money into something or time that isn't yielding the results you deserve. So that being said, get your systems in place, get your processes in place, understand who is behind the screen and what resonates with them, and what it takes for them to be able to go from seeing you on their feed to actually engaging with you. So someone asked, why is my content not converting even though it's good? Again, like, I'm not here to promise any kind of results. I don't claim to have all the answers. It depends on what it is that your goal is, and also what kind of content you're creating. But don't get me wrong, good content will make its way, will thrive on the platform's algorithm, assuming that that content is friendly for that specific platform that it's being posted on. As an example, YouTube long form videos, right now they're rewarding 10 to 15 minute long videos. Instagram, any reels under a minute long, and depending on your actual industry or niche, the type of content that you're recording, it kind of depends. But honestly, if your content isn't converting, you simply don't have any structure with your business model. It's less about the content. It's more about, what is that content feeding? What is that content supporting? What is it helping? How is it helping your brand get the exact type of recognition that it's looking for? Are you getting the right audience? Are you getting a bunch of views but no action? Well, chances are, if you're getting a bunch of views, no action, you're reaching the wrong audience, or you're not clear on what the hell it is that you're doing or that you're asking for.